Welcome, 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 Adriane Hartigan-von Strauch, your quantum intimacy, quantum love coach, greeting you from beautiful New Zealand. It's March, it's full moon. We have the 7th of March today, and it's a full moon in Virgo. And I haven't done a full moon Q&A for the last at least 1 or 2 months, simply because it has been quite a transformational and interesting time, and I don't think just for me, I think for many people. So while I'm speaking, I'm shuffling, so sorry the noise in the background. I brought into the mix today for our meeting the beautiful Rose Oracle deck created by Rebecca Campbell. And I will use a little later second deck, but before I bring this into the mix, I want to just thank you all for being here with me on my channel and supporting the mission of bringing intimacy and quantum intimacy and concepts of Mars Venus coaching into the world. Now, I will just start with a little reading, as I usually do, and then pump out some questions and answers based on what I have been asked recently, and also what I see in the more collective realm of energy appearing as really important subjects we discuss at this very time, particularly for lovers and those lovers in transit. The first card I have here is called Codes of the Seeds. The blueprint is within you. Take the next step. And I think what this relates to is really that many of us and many of you are in a process of rebirthing completely concepts, areas of life, relationships. It's just a beautiful picture. You see this womb, being just birthing through this cosmic energy into something really new. And that next step is so really important. The mystic rose: compassion, devotion, humility, humanity, and grace. I posted a really interesting little video that I recorded in Bali. I was in a very interesting time. I was writing a submission proposal for a book that I'm preparing to write, and I was really very much in that concept of, how can we invoke a new perspective into dating and meeting people in new relationship in 2023. And my mantra for this year is really, heart open, heart out, and humble up. The humble, the humbleness and the humility, and also the compassion, that really looking deeply and having compassion for oneself. How can I have compassion for myself would be a beautiful question, in a healing process. And it's not just looking and having that pure, bold concept of I love myself, but it's really going inside and letting the observer within you saying, I'm sorry, you had to experience this. I'm sorry that something in you is still not capable and ready to forgive. And if whatever it is, you're not ready for, to let go, maybe now, and you just being, compassionate and devotional with yourself and for your own pain you feel, then you're awakening, something in you up that allows to just let this be. And in just letting it be, often it can just disappear very gently. And the charges we experience might not be as strong anymore after a couple of meditations where we just sit and simply, open our heart, let the hurt disappear and humble up and really own that actually being in humility and being humble about the greatness that actually is there to help us to transform ourselves is really, really doing its work while we are just surrendered to the process. And the third card of the Rose Oracle is healing the mother line, and that is actually very pivotal, because a lot of this pain, I mean, when you just bring these cards together, you know, the womb and the mother line, yeah, just these, the divine feminine healing, and that's a big, big, big word for this month. I think femininity is really, really ready to step up to another level of owning responsibility for our deeper connections to the archetype of the mother and the mystic, you know, rose, and seeing that feminine beautiful being holding this heart and knowing that this heart energy is actually within us, you know, not just in the outer world where we are drawing relationships in, where we want to be loved, but where we are capable to hold that cosmic heart within ourselves. Now, in questions that come my way, I want to really talk first of all about intimacy. I have had quite interesting conversations. I attended actually a wonderful course in Auckland about intimacy, directing and coordinating in film and television. That's something that I study quietly along the line because I have background in film and arts, and I do love live theater, and I very much love being, you know, in the film world and creating movies, and even so being more a producer and director for documentary work and interview work. I do have a love for beautiful created fictions and stories that are put into, you know, a wonderful, you know, edited storyline telling us some special, you know, creations that invoke feelings in us, and, you know, stories that amuse us and invigorate feelings of romance and whatever it is we love to see. So intimacy is really something that can be easily just sexualized, and I do so much want to come back to this idea that studying intimacy and being an intimacy expert from a perspective of quantum intimacy and quantum reality, where actually the relationship to who we are as an intimate being is not created in the physical world, but really in the etheric world. Yes, with our mothers, it really starts. Sexuality, the particular, you know, when it comes to the sensitive and sensual areas of our sexuality, really are born in the capability of our mother holding space in the womb, you know, for us to grow into these conscious beings that come into life and into evolution as young beings from, you know, 0 to 7, 7 to 14, and so on, to grow us again and again. So I just create another little, you know, experiment here with another card deck, which is the Angels Answers beautiful card deck from Redley Valentine, and the card that appears is romance. And really, intimacy and romance have so much to do with one another, but it's not all. You know, intimacy is not a romantic experience, and romance is not always an intimate experience. Romance can be an intimate experience when we actually grow to these really more awake and conscious beings that understand that it really starts on an etheric level, on a heart level, on a deeper, sensitive, sensual level that is not particularly physical. Yeah. And yet, in the world of intimacy directing and intimacy coordinating in film and television, the whole association is so easily just put into the whole picture of, oh, you know, here there's a love scene and a sex scene, and, you know, and I wish the intimacy coordinator would be actually there for the entire movie, because everybody who is exposed to showing a particular side of themselves that is intimate for themselves and for oneself, is already, you know, inspired to show more than potentially comfortable. And yet I'm so delighted that the film and TV world has people that are so capable helping actors and directors to get to the bottom of what it needs to hold boundaries and giving consent and being really, really in beautiful communication in the realm of, you know, sharing intimacy and sharing love and connection in a more overted and expressed and overly shared space. The next card that is coming is success. Yeah, I reframed my wording as, from being a love coach and quantum intimacy expert, I nowadays call myself love life design and marriage success strategist. And that is really a big shift, because it is about the strategies, and it is about what we do and how we do it and what we create around it. You know, it's a very important part that we actually create an environment to let love and intimacy flourish. So I'm currently developing a beautiful concept which I call intimacy in design, where I will develop products, physical products and etheric products and packages for clients to experience an environment that supports their intimate life really, really powerfully and resourcefully. And that's something that is not easily communicated. I mean, interior design can be one thing, but an intimacy in design space is really taking into account that when we're entering a space as couple or as individual, you know, it doesn't even need to be with someone else. We can be romantic and sensual in a very personal way, and we probably prefer, you know, just having an environment that, you know, brings the best out of us and lets us experience what's really true to us. So anything that feels natural light, natural produce, natural textiles, anything that has a real association with our sensory self in a very unique and personal way can help us to reshape our environment very, very, very powerfully. The third card is saying look for a sign, and I probably want to relate this to a question that is really, really ether again and again and again. And it's, you know, when am I ready for a new relationship? Why is he not coming? Why is she not appearing? I'm single for so long, and how can I date and manifest love in 2023? And I think we are going through very, very big changes. And many people want very different things in committed relationships at this point of time. We are so infused by the external fullness of drama and trauma. I personally, you know, was witness of one of the most hideous and most tragic natural disasters here in New Zealand just 2 to 3 weeks ago, when we had a cyclone coming over the North Island of our country and really destroyed so much. And I don't want to go into details now, but I was so lucky. The angelic realm helped me in a beautiful apartment with you know, it being warm and cozy and comfortable when the temperatures in the middle of high summers dropped to 12 degrees and the storm was on and the wind was cold and on very, very icy feeling of very, very stale feeling of total destruction. And the emotional effect, the traumatic effect it had on many, many, many people in our country is just really, really huge. And many of us still recover from that, you know, nervous system crash that happened, you know, when you not know where then the next second the tornado is doing something else, or you know some cyclone is adding more rain and more water and more flooding and whatever it is that comes our way. So I think it's something really important to understand that in this very moment we're losing complete control over what we can really, know as being certain to us. And I think that was another reconfirmation for me how how open we have to be any moment, at any time, living on this planet, living in these times where something majorly could happen, and we are islands here, any water that rises, or any earth, we had earthquakes coming straight away after, so it was all there, it was all happening. And certainly a very humbling experience. Once again, open your heart, let the hurt go out and away, and humble up and just wait and be patient to what was coming next. Yeah, and I want to close my little new moon, full moon Q&A today on the 7th of March with one more card, which says don't stop. Yeah, let's not stop to grow. Let's not stop believing in good things. Let's not stop to really awaken our senses and our internal world and our brain function to really observe from a newfound way, to be capable to hold ground and steadiness and patience and physical health in times where so many things can happen that are so new and so uncommon to us, because the totality and the hugeness and the greatness of what we are experiencing at the moment is just so big. Not stop believing in the angelic realm, the masters, the angels, and not stopping to ask for help from the divine forces and from those we love and from friends and community and places we know where others are who have equally needs that need to be received and listened to, and the willingness to share and to give. So that is my little share for today. I know it's all a little improvised and coming together, and I made a very spontaneous decision to go online and share this today with you. And if this inspires you to have another conversation with me about intimacy and design, about your home or your life per se, even just talking about your love life and wanting to design it in a more time fluid and goal setting way, to have certain aspects of your love life fulfilled or healed or transformed, call out. Down in the description box is my link to my book a call, to my site that allows you to book a 30 minutes complimentary discovery call with me on Zoom. If you're in New Zealand, you can happily meet me, and hopefully soon again also in Bali. I will be available for clients and groups there. And the retreat world is certainly opening up, asking for more venues, for more good programs, for interesting things to be created, particularly for couples and for singles who are really wanting deep relationship healing. And if that's something that interests you and you're interested to learn more about what I have to offer in this space of relationship retreats, residential retreats and personal retreats in New Zealand and in Bali and potentially in Australia, so please call out and make connection with me, and I look forward meeting you along the way, hopefully very soon. Have a wonderful month of March and April. A heavenly shift is coming, and big astrological movements, Pluto going from Pisces into Aquarius, which will be a major event very soon in the next week and a half or so, and I think let's just wait and see what that will bring to us in the space of greater awareness, awakening, and enlightening spirit. Thank you so much. Namaste.